Hi, Mrs. Fine.
Hi, Mayor. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
So ask me questions. What do you have?
Like sometimes on the worksheets, I'll get like a different answer than like the answer provided, but it'll only be off by like point 0.1. It's like I think it's just like a rounding error. So when I take values from the periodic table, how many places should I take after the decimal
So
point?
from the periodic table, I take everything
Oh,
because that's already an average. So from the periodic table, I take everything. I never round it. I just add the whole thing together. And honestly, I don't round until the very end of a problem. So even if there are multiple steps to the problem, I'll keep the numbers running in my calculator and only round at the very end. So if you're off by 0.1 or 0.01 or something like that, you are golden, that's it's but that's how the rounding happens, is that I use the exact numbers from the periodic table and I keep my numbers running in my calculator. But even whatever teacher you have, like if you go in, you're not going into chemistry this year, are you? I don't remember.
I am.
Oh, you are, okay. You're going into AP, no? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do I think I remember your parents. I remember talking to you. I don't know. I have another. I guess I have another family. I was confusing. So you're going into AP. So your teacher will, they'll have their own different rules. But I'll tell you, it's not time about teachers. It's time at the AP Chem exam. They have a certain range, okay, and they even have a certain range of sig figs. Like they won't. I learned this later on. They won't mark you off if you're off by one sig fig. But once you're off by two, then they're going to mark you off. So there are layers of
Mhm.
close enough. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Anything that was off though on a worksheet that you wanted to go over? That was like far from the answer?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Okay.
My dad also has like a couple questions
Awesome.
about like class.
Hello there, Ms.
Hi,
Fine.
Praveen. How are you?
So actually, we are, this is a last week in California, Los Angeles. And
Oh, that's right. You're in Torrance, aren't you?
yeah, and
Okay.
then next week we are moving back. And can you see me clearly?
Not clearly, honestly. Can you see your reflection? It's sort of like I see sunlight, and you're like this god figure in the shadows.
Mayor, what you can do is you do
If
have a
you
black
just change the
background.
angle or change where you're sitting, I think it's just the sun from the
Okay, window. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sitting. So yeah, so how's the progress? Like, how do you feel? Like, is she ready to take? She had taken honors chemistry this last year, so she has some background. And this year she plans to take the AP chemistry.
Right, right. So let me just look, okay, and see where she is. So Meher has done, actually, she's done most of the worksheets up to this point. She has a couple more that she needs to do. Let me check on the quizzes.
I was having problems like, accessing one of the quizzes, I think,
Tell me which one.
the post unit 0 assessment.
Let me look at it.
But I checked it this morning and everything seems fine. So
I wonder why. But you took the post unit 0 assessment. I'm opening it now.
I didn't take it. I just like opened it and it's like
Okay. Okay. So yes. So so Mayher is definitely keeping up with the stuff. I don't know from her whether it's too much or how she's doing, but I really need that
uh,
that post assessment to see where she is. I will tell you that unit 1 is very large, and so we haven't had a post-assessment because we have at least another week of learning to go with it. We're going to go into the periodic table, electron configurations, and periodic trends. And so then there'll be another assessment after that. But it's really important that she takes her pre-assessments before we learn anything and the post-assessments afterwards. So the unit 0 post-assessment, barring any issues physically with opening the assessment, she needs to take, and that way I can really see how she's doing. Because honestly, I don't grade the assignments. You know, I don't go through them and grade those. They have the answers. So she like telling me that her answers are a little bit off, that she's self-assessing because the answers are there, right?
And when does like, you know, by the time like the summer thing finishes, you'll be like into unit 2, or like where would you be?
So I think at the end of this coming week, so the first week in August, we're going to be in unit 2.
Okay.
Unit 2.
And-
I've spoken with the group. It seems like, and we don't go slowly. I mean, I think Meher made a comment. I didn't read the comment that maybe we go a little too fast. I didn't read. I just saw the sentence stem. What did you say?
Like go like a little bit faster. Like, but that was like on the time when we were doing like the review. I was wondering if we could like pick up the pace a little bit.
Oh, you want us to go faster? Okay. It's
Now I
so
think-
interesting because when I see the spreadsheet in class, when I just assume that I'm going too fast for some people, but you know, depends on the student. Okay, good. So I think we go pretty fast, and I like that clip. And some people, you know, like it slower, obviously. So she's doing great. She doesn't ask a lot, you know, questions in class. So I don't get that sense of where she is. And of course, that post unit 0 assessment will help. But it's going to take us probably as much time to do unit 2 as we did unit 1. So it's going to probably take more than 6 weeks to cover what I said we would cover. And I had asked, I had polled the students to see what their availability is for additional sessions, not for additional price or fee, just what they could, if they could do additional sessions. And it may be a combination. It'll probably be live sessions, but it'll be recorded as well. So they can get access to it if they can't make additional live sessions. And then for those who want to continue on and do this along with the AP Chem course, that will probably start probably the 3rd week in August.
Okay. And she definitely would want to go on to,
Good.
you know, with this course. And so how many kids are there? Like, are all the kids taking, like, would be?
How many kids are going to continue on? I have no idea. I have not asked the question yet. Yeah, I don't know. And of course I always mark it outside, but to be honest, it's not going to be large classes. Even with 10 people in a class. So I'm not like giving Meher individual attention, but if Meher ever asked a question that she needed individual attention with, she would get that, right? But it's incredibly interactive.
And I think she can also email you if she has like a question or a problem.
Email me a question, come on office hours. There's plenty of opportunities. And when we continue during the year, you know, with each month that comes with at least one-on-one session whenever she needs it.
And you know, she's like, even in unit 1, they're doing more like AP stuff, right? You know, like problems which will come like, you know, in the AP.
Oh, for sure. This is, yeah, I mean, you can't start at 90 miles per hour, right? So you have to teach from the beginning, but most of the questions that we are doing in class come from AP problems. Yeah.
She got her scores back. She took 2 APs in her freshman year, like AP pre-calculus and AP human geography, and she got a 5 on both, you know.
Nice. I hate to admit it. I mean, I'm proud of my son. My son got his back on July 8th as well. He got a 4 in AP Chem. It's not really a reflection on me, but it is in the sense that, which is actually better than I did when I was their age. Okay, let me tell you that. I Cornell degree and many years teaching chemistry later, I'm sure I'd get a 5, but my son decided to learn AP Chem in a month. He did nothing all year. He doesn't have great work habits. And so I pretty much taught him AP Chem in a month, and in a month he got a 4. So there you go. I think if he applied himself, he would have gotten a 5. And he got a 4 in also calculus. So, you know. It's not terrible. I'd like better, but you know, he's doing fine.
Did like a
It-
lot of your students get fives?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Meher, the truth is the fives come from the students, not from me,
Mhm.
right? I teach you everything.
Mhm.
There's nothing you don't go in knowing on a deep level.
Mhm.
How much are you, and I'm saying you in general, right? Not just you. It comes down to how much you're doing the worksheets, how much you're checking your answers,
Mhm.
how on top of things you are. Because I can provide everything to you, I can try and make it entertaining and engaging, but I can't control half of that relationship.
Yeah.
Right. So
Absolutely.
most kids do get fives. I mean, the ones who care, who are really serious about it, for sure. Because I will also tell you that the exams get easier. They get easier a little bit each year, because
Okay.
if you've noticed your classmates, the American work ethic goes down and down and down. And so we have to sort of, so if you stay with a strong work ethic, you're gonna like rise to the top always. It's not just intelligence. I think anyone can learn anything. I mean, it's great to be smart. But it's the work. The biggest key to success in life are your work ethics, your work habits. The smartest kids in school who don't have those work habits may not be so successful in life. You, and I'd say the ones who aren't as smart, if they have the work ethics, they'll be fine. I think if it were both of them is great. If I were hiring someone and I had to choose between the really smart one with poor work habits and the above average one with great work habits, I would hire the latter every time. So, but yeah, you'll definitely get a five. I mean, you just do what I say and practice, please.
Okay.
Because you'll be so confident when you walk into the test that if you have any test anxiety, it'll become fun for you. For me, these problems are fun.
Now, do you have any recommendations for like is she also going to take AP biology? Do you also have any recommendations for like an AP biology
I
teacher?
can refer you to somebody who does a similar program in AP Bio if you're interested in talking to
Yes,
them. Let
definitely.
me do that. Okay, I'll reach out to them. Just opening up a note.
You know, we will be late in joining them, but she also did biology honors, so she can probably join that program too. Like, you know.
Say that again. What were you saying about
She
biology honors?
did honors biology last year. So, you know, biology is a little kind of easier in a sense, like there's not as many formulas.
Well,
But
it's not mathematical. Yeah, it's memorization.
yeah, yeah. So we definitely would reach out to them if there's
Okay.
a similar program available.
Yeah, it's not, so for me, chemistry, I could do even if I don't really know what I'm doing, because no, we can solve formulas, we can manipulate formulas, we can look at
Um,
units.
Besides the worksheets, like does she has to supplement that with any AP test prep like book, like you know, or you know, papers or anything, or
No, I don't see it. I know everybody wants an AP test book. My son, I haven't really studied them all. My son says, oh, everybody gets Princeton Review. I don't know. They're you know, the AP tests are copyright protected. So anyone who writes a book has to write the book based on College Board like tests. They can't use College Board questions, right? And so what I do are all released College Board questions. And I have those College Board questions since the 60s, right? And they were much harder years ago. So that kind of being able to, in my program, being able to use all those test questions that have already been released, but not necessarily available to the general public. The newer ones are, but the older ones, I think I just have a greater array of questions. But if Meher wants more, I mean, you can get one. I just honestly, I've not really worked through those books, so I don't know. I can't give you an informed
okay.
answer, is to be honest.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
So-
Take care. How was your program, by the way?
Oh, it went well. I'm in my last week.
Yeah. Have you cured cancer?
So I'm just like, I'm like taking like cancer and trying to like differentiate the cancer cells into neurons, and it's going well. I've had some pretty positive results.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay. So what kind of microscopes are you using for that?
fluorescent microscopes, light and light microscopes primarily.
Okay, awesome. That's amazing. Good. I want to hear about it at some point. Maybe
Okay.
when we meet one-on-one.
Mhm.
Good.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Joad, were you next, sir? There, that shiny
Yes.
faces. What do you have, sir?
Um, I was just I just needed a bit of help to understand the assignment. It was called the mole calculations.
Uh-huh.
I was having difficulty with the difficulty level 2 and 3.
Okay, let me open that up. Actually, I'm gonna do that. Now, I believe the difficulty 2 and 3, you can tell me if I'm wrong, I believe that it's it's more of the same, they just don't give you as much stuff. They don't scaffold as much, so you have to like fill it in from scratch.
Yeah.
Let me just find my Canvas. They did make me leave. Shift at. Is it worksheet 1, 2, or 1, 3? Do you know?
Um, I believe it's 1, 2.
I just downloaded both of them, so. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
and
still on
apparently, go ahead.
I'm still on my way of like I'm still on my way of finishing it. Because like now there's just a week left before I go international, so like it's getting busy in my schedule, so I'll definitely get it done, just not as fast.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Let me, I'm gonna, oh, I wanted to go to share. Okay, my phone. Okay, so. You said level 3.
I did all of the first difficulty. I'm just having trouble understanding level 2 and 3.
Okay. So the only difference is that you need to figure out what's given to you, which is gonna go up here. Okay, and then your conversion
Mhm.
factor goes down. So what's given to you, is it, is it, is it okay to start at problem number 1, or was there a particular one that you had, or is it a general problem?
It's general.
Okay, so what would you put for the first problem? What would you put in where I highlighted the yellow?
2.19 moles of CH4, or yeah.
Okay, which means, tell me what unit would go down here.
The number 6.02.
Never lead with numbers. I don't know what numbers mean here. You always want to cancel out this unit. So that is always never lead with numbers, just the units. So if I have moles up there, I want moles here. Oops.
Almost there.
Yeah, moles CH4. Because the goal, remember in algebra, if you have x in the numerator, you can only get rid of x by putting x in the denominator, right?
Yep.
Or, and that's what we're trying to do. Or if we wrote it like this, we have to put x in the denominator here, right? So whatever
Mhm.
so they cancel out. So whatever unit you have here is the unit you have here. Okay, so far so good. In fact,
Yep.
let me write the given. You said that right, 2.19 moles. And they want us to determine mass. What are the units of mass?
16.0
So you're
gram.
giving me numbers. I don't want numbers. What are the units? You know what I mean by
Grams
units?
over
Exactly. No, just grams. When they want
grams. Okay.
mass, it's just grams, okay? So what I'm trying to find has to go up here.
And what does the D stand for again?
Determine, I think. Given, determine, I think. Yeah, I didn't make this worksheet, so I'm gonna say I always say wanted, but they may say determine, how calculate, determine, yeah.
It's okay. Yes.
So notice I haven't done anything with numbers. You're rushing to numbers. You and every high school student in the world, they rush to numbers. I'm only asking you, what is it measured in? Okay, because once I get the units, I know what I'm looking for. This conversion is always per 1 mole, whether mole is in the numerator or mole is in the denominator. It's always per 1 mole. How do you figure out the mass of 1 mole of CH4?
Then you use the 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23.
Is that mass? Is that the number of grams in a mole? Or is that the number of atoms in a mole or molecules in a mole?
It's the number of atoms in a mole.
Yeah, so they're not asking for it, they want the mass. So where do we find the mass of 1 mole?
The 16.0 because it says because that's the mat like
The molar
it's
mass,
the molar mass of the CH4.
right? And if they didn't give us this number in the problem, where would we find it?
By multiplying 2.19.
No, where does this number come from? 16.
It comes
If they didn't give it to us in the problem, where did they get it?
they got it from the CH4 like the I don't know.
Periodic table. That's what tells you the mass of any of these, okay? So they did it for you. Carbon, they rounded to 12, right? And by the way, don't round, but they did, okay? And hydrogen, their CH4 has 4 hydrogens, right? They rounded hydrogen to 1. Again, don't do that, but they did it. So this is 4 times 1. So what's 12 plus 4?
16.
16 grams per mole, which is how they got that number. Okay. Now that you've set that up, how do you put it in a calculator?
2.19 times 16.0 over 1.
You got it.
I'm just going to do that. 35.04.
Okay. 35.04, and then the right number of sig figs would be 35 point.
Is it 0.0?
Perfect. And what are the units?
Grams.
Perfect. Let's do the next one and then we'll skip one to do a multiple step problem, okay? What do they give you in problem number 2?
They give me they give me they give me the 2.22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what do they want you to find out?
They want me to find out what volume of that amount of moles of CO2 gas will occupy at STP.
Good. So what is volume measured in?
Grams over a milliliter.
No, that's density. Volume is if I measured volume, if you go to the local 7-Eleven and you're buying yourself a water and they have different sizes, what do they usually measure it in? Do you remember what?
Liters.
Liters, exactly. Liters. Okay. So your given always goes up here. So tell me what unit goes here.
The the um the the
Don't give me a number, just give me the units.
just one.
No, don't give me numbers. I don't want numbers. Give me the units. I want to cancel out these units right here. So what do I put here?
Is that
Got
it?
it. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. And again, what do I want in the top? What am I looking for? What do I put up here?
Liters.
Perfect. Okay. Whenever we have moles here, it's going to be different in another unit, but for now, moles is always 1. And what's our conversion factor? How many liters are equal to, how many liters of a gas at STP are equal to 1 mole?
22.4.
Perfect. So the unit moles will cancel out. How would you put that into calculator?
2.22 times 22.4 over 1.
Mm-hmm.
49.7 liters. Is that the right amount of sig figs?
It is. I'm just putting in the calculator to confirm the numbers. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Let's skip. Let's go to number 5. Okay. What are we looking for? Or actually, they do given first. What do they give us?
They give us grams.
They give us 0.250 grams, right? Of H2O. And what do they want?
They want the amount of molecules molecules.
Okay, so the given is always up here. So, what goes down here?
The grams of H2O.
Perfect. Perfect. What can we convert grams to?
What can we convert grams to?
Yeah, in our conversion factors that we have, what can we convert grams to?
Um, 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23.
Yeah, but I have no idea how many grams is in a. So no, we don't convert grams to numbers of molecules without knowing something in between. What do we convert grams to? When you look at a periodic table, what is that? That's a mass of what?
Of the element.
Of a mole. It's a mass of a mole. You always have to go through moles. It's grams per mole. You always have to go to moles. Go to moles, go to moles. Okay? And they give you, so every time you have grams, you have to go to moles. We don't know how much. I mean, I guess we could go straight from grams to a mole of molecule. Just go to grams to moles. What is the mass of a mole of water?
18.0.
Exactly. They even give it to us, right? 18.0 grams per mole. Now grams cancels out and we're left with moles. So tell me what unit goes down here?
Grams again.
Really? What are we trying to cancel out?
H2O.
No.
So
What are we trying to
we
cancel out?
just
What unit are we trying to cancel out?
the moles.
Exactly. Exactly. The way these work, Jawad, is, let me get a different color. I'll do this, okay? This cancels out this. Then we get that. This cancels out this. Then we get that. It's the same process. We now have moles, so we need to cancel out moles. Right? What do we want to find?
The amount of the amount of the the amount of um I'm just thinking.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know.
Sure you do. You told me earlier. What are we looking for?
The amount of molecules.
Not of molecules, right? And everything's in one mole. How many molecules are in a mole?
6.02 times 10 to the power of
Yeah,
23.
that's the only time that comes into play, when you need to know how many molecules or how many particles are in a mole. So moles will cancel out, and now we have molecules. Throw that into a calculator and try that.
Is it 2.709 times 10 to the power of 20 times 10 to the power of 24?
What'd you get?
I got 2.79, no, not 79, 2.709 times 10 to the power of 24.
Yeah, something went wrong somewhere. How did you put in your scientific notation? Did you use that EE
I mean,
button?
all I did was, yeah, I did the EE button. I mean, I just did 0.250
Mm-hmm.
times 18
Why are
times.
you multiplying by 18? You see where it is here? It's in the
I'm
denominator.
dividing by it.
Yeah, you're dividing by 18, exactly.
And then it times it by the number. Eight point 8.36 repeated times 10 to the power of 21.
Right. Okay. So go ahead and follow this process. Do either 4 or 6 right now. I'm gonna ask Tanisha what questions she has, and then you let me know how you're doing. Okay, stay on and do it. Set it up. Do the same thing. Figure out what's given, what you want, and your given comes in the top number here, and you need to cancel out. Follow the units, not the numbers, and everything goes to moles in the middle. Everything you have to go through moles. Okay. So pick one of those and start that. And when you get stuck, let me know. Just write in the chat. Okay. Tanisha.
Oh, I had a question about the empirical formulas from combustion.
Uh-huh.
On the worksheet for number 4, I'm not sure how to do it.
Let's see. Number 4.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a biochemical substance burned in oxygen. Okay. And we determine the empirical formula. Okay, so it's giving off carbon dioxide, water, and oxygen. Okay. So you probably set it up. We know that it's some form of CH and O, right? Burned in oxygen to make carbon dioxide plus H2O and apparently plus oxygen. Is that what they're saying? Let's see. Yeah, okay. So so we know this is 36.347. That's pure oxygen. This is 7.749, and this is 18.942. In my head, what I'm thinking before they gave us all these numbers, right? So first of all, the masses before have to equal the masses after, which I assume they do. So my thought is that this is interesting here. My thought is that we're gonna, after we figure out how much carbon and how much hydrogen, we're also gonna have to figure out how much oxygen and compare that to 50. And any surplus oxygen would be in the original compound. Is that what you did?
I didn't really know how to start it.
Okay. So it's not so further demonstrated that oxygen was not present in the molecule. Oh, no, we're on 4. Okay, good. So I'm just gonna copy this and start a blank page so I have room, because I feel like I'm gonna need room. Okay. So if I'm doing carbon, I know that 12.01 out of 44.01 of that 18.942 is carbon, right? So let's say it's 5.169 grams of carbon. Hydrogen is going to be the percent of hydrogen in water. Two times 1.008 divided by 18.016 times 7.749 gives me 0.8671 grams of hydrogen. And then we have the rest is oxygen. So I also need to figure out how much of oxygen is left over. So in carbon dioxide, 18.942 grams minus 5.169 is going to give me oxygen, right? 18.942 minus 5.169 gives me 13.773 grams oxygen. And for the hydrogen, that was 7. So it's so I'm going to take 7.749 minus 0.8671. And I get about 6.8819 grams of oxygen. Okay. So the total oxygen on the right-hand side would be would be 36.347 grams from this oxygen plus 13.773 plus 6.8819. And if that's greater than 50.123, then I know there's oxygen in my compound, right? And it is greater, I can tell right now. So 6.8819 plus 36.347 plus 6.8819 gives me a total. It's not much. Interesting. It's about 50. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe maybe my numbers are off. So it's 50.123 went into it, and 50.1108 came out of it. I'm thinking it might be a rounding error, and that there's no oxygen in the initial compound. Because it's so close to 50.123. If I keep my I'm going to keep my numbers running and just see if that works out. So 18.942 times 12.01 divided by 44.01. And I'm going to take 12, what was it? 18.942 minus that number. It's 13.772. So I can keep that number there. I'm not sure how to save it, but I'm going to keep that number there. And then I'm going to do 7.749, which is let me clear that, 7.749 minus let me put in parentheses 2 times 1.008 divided by 18.016 times 7.749 gives me 6.8818827709 oxygen. I'm gonna try to add these together. I had trouble. I sometimes have trouble doing that. So that's 20.654 plus the 36.347. It's 57. So what did I do wrong here? did I add wrong numbers to people? Oh, it's not 13.77, no, that's right. So now I have 57, did I? Yeah, that makes sense, I must have put in a wrong number, okay. So I have 57.0 grams of oxygen. Which tells me that there's oxygen in the original compound, right? Because I have more oxygen on the right than 50. So I subtract 50 from that. And that tells me how much oxygen is in the original compound, which is 6.87875 grams O2. Okay, or just O, sorry, not O2. So now these are our numbers. I've got carbon, 5.169 grams of carbon. I've got 0.8671 grams of hydrogen and 6.87875 grams of oxygen. I don't care about sig figs here because it's all ratios. Divide by their molar mass. I divide by small, it looks like carbon and oxygen are the same. Divide everything by 0.4299. I can even eyeball this, you probably can by now as well. This is going to be 1, this is going to be 1, and this is going to be 2. Questions about that?
No, thank you.
Joanne, which problem are you on that you need to know what you're solving for? Is it number 6, number 4? What are you doing? Are you right? Okay. Number 6 and number 4. Let's start with 6. What volume? What do you measure volume in? Oh, number 4. What mass? What do you measure mass in? What units?
Grams.
Yeah. So that's what you want, and so grams is going to be over here somewhere. Okay, because that's what's left over. For 6, what are you solving for? What is volume measured in?
For 6
Mm-hmm.
in liters.
Yeah, so it's going to be over here. So now set up the problem.
Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just don't know where to put CO2 on the problem for number 4.
What do you mean? You don't know where to put CO2. It's gram CO2. Is that what you mean?
Like, I'm not sure what to put in that first spot.
Well, what have we put in that first spot so far?
What we're trying to solve for.
Is that what we
Like-
put there? Look at it. Is that what we put there? What we're trying to solve for?
No, it's
What
what
if-
was given
Oh.
to us.
Okay, so what's given to us in number 4?
395.
Right, that's what goes here.
But am I supposed to multiply that by STP? Because
No,
It-
you need STP for the conversion factor to work. It's just 395 liters.
So then on the bottom, like on the next
Mm-hmm.
section, what I put the 22.4.
Well, let's do units first. What unit goes in the bottom?
Liters.
Good. And what are we
I'm
convert
trying to
liters to?
cancel that out.
What are we convert liters to?
STP.
No, we don't convert
'Cause
liters
it's-
to STP. That's temperature and pressure. What can we convert liters to? What's our conversion?
One like the that the we can convert liters to I don't know, I'm sorry.
Okay. In order to figure out the mass of a certain amount of volume, we need to know how many moles we have. Because we only know the mass of the number of moles. That's what the periodic table tells us, the molar mass, the mass of the moles. 395 liters doesn't mean anything until I convert it to moles. So in the middle section, for every single one of these problems, I'm converting to moles, right? As I said, and you have this here, I gave you this image here. You have to go, if I'm going from liters and I want to get to grams, I need to go through moles. Everything goes through moles. Okay, I need to convert to moles to get to grams. I need to convert to moles to get to particles. Everything goes through moles. So I mean, I could convert liters to how much water is in what they sell at the AM PM, but that's not going to help me solve this problem. For all mole problems, you need to convert to moles. How many liters are in a mole?
Well, one, because you put the bottom.
I put 1 at the bottom?
Yeah.
No. What 1 always goes with moles.
Mm,
What's the conversion between liters and moles at STP?
it's 22.4
Does that go in the top or the bottom?
goes in the bottom.
That conversion is at 22.4 liters is equal to 1 mole. Once I have moles, now what do I put in the denominator of the next problem?
The same exact thing. So, yeah.
What's the same exact thing? You have to tell me. What unit goes in the denominator? Moles, okay, got it. Perfect. And I already know that I want grams on the top because that's what I'm solving for. Right? What's yeah, well, I need a number now. Now that I have the units, what are the grams per mole of CO2?
And this is where we put in the 6.02 times 10 to the power of
Is that
no,
how
it
many
isn't.
grams are in a mole? That would be heavier than the
Mm.
mass of the entire universe. Is that 1 mole of carbon dioxide? That's
No.
particles per mole. That you've got 3 conversions. There's only 3. Grams per mole is the molar mass, liters per mole is 22.4, and molecules per mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. You've got 3 conversions. You can't mix them up though. Grams per mole is molar mass. Liters per mole is 22.4. And molecules per mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Which one of these three conversions do you need here?
The mass,
Yeah.
the mass, yeah.
Yeah,
So I would put 44.0
mm-hmm.
and then 1 on the bottom.
That's your problem.
$775 grams.
Yep, well, no. Because you can't cut it off, you have to round it, right? If it's 3 sig figs, which you're right about, it wouldn't be 775. Because you always look at the next digit. And say, does the 8
So,
or 5?
so 776.
There you go. There you go. Okay, I actually have to run because I have a student at the top of the hour. Will I see you this week? And this is your last week, or is this it?
Yeah, I think this is it.
Like today
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you, when you can, to watch the videos and then send me an email when you're back and we'll set up some times to meet, okay? And we'll
Okay.
do it, either office hours, probably on top of office hours, because other people will be here as well, okay?
Okay.
But as much as you can, try to stay with the class. And then you can also email me questions, by the way. Okay, if you're stuck, because what might happen is you're stuck in a lesson that I taught, and then you can't really go on because you're stuck. So definitely you can email me questions. Okay, Joanne?
Okay.
Have a great trip.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll miss you in class.